Ever feel like you're just swimming in news headlines?
All the time.
Yeah, one thing flashes by, then another crisis pops up. It's hard to make sense of it all, right?
Absolutely. Information overload is real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. Welcome to the deep dive. We try to cut through that noise, pull out the really important stories and dig a bit deeper.
Look beneath the surface.
Think of us as your shortcut to getting the context, maybe with a few surprising connections along the way.
Precisely. And today, we've got quite a mix. Some really fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at how countries are dealing with each other, some shifts there, ongoing conflicts, sadly, big social issues too, plus crime, business, tech, even some history popping up.
So quite the range.
Definitely. And the goal, our mission for this deep dive is to pull out those key insights, connect some dots, and hopefully give you some clarity.
Okay, sounds good. Let's dive in. International relations first.
Let's do it.
So, U.S. and China. A 90-day pause in the trade war after those Geneva talks. That sounds pretty significant. A major de-escalation, they're calling it.
It is significant, yeah, at least on the surface. But what's really interesting, I think, is how both sides are, framing it.
How so?
Well, from the U.S. side, you hear talk about a potential reset.
A reset, like starting over?
Maybe, or at least hoping for a real shift away from the constant tariff battles we've seen. But then you look at some of the chatter from China. It's a different story. It sounds more like they see it as proof they could withstand the pressure, like a battle victory almost for standing firm.
Huh. So even in a pause, the underlying tension is still right there.
I think that's fair to say, yeah. The strategic goals probably haven't vanished overnight.
Right. Okay. Staying in Asia, India and Pakistan. A ceasefire. Full and immediate, it says, after some really heavy shelling.
Yes, and that's notable too, especially the mention of back channels and U.S. mediators apparently being involved.
Right, the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, how close things actually got to spiraling completely out of control.
Yeah.
It just highlights the volatility there and how sometimes outside players are crucial to just pull things back.
And the fact they both agreed after intense fighting suggests they both saw the danger.
Likely.
Yeah.
Probably a mix of that diplomatic pressure you mentioned and maybe a hard look at the potential costs. Modi, addressing the nation afterwards, also signals it's a big deal domestically.
Okay, moving to another long-running conflict zone. The PKK in Turkey, announcing they're disbanding. A historic step after, 40 years of fighting?
40 years, yeah. It's a huge development. But the reports also mention skepticism and cautious hope.
That combination sounds about right, given the history.
It really does. I mean, 4 decades of conflict leaves incredibly deep scars. Mistrust runs deep.
Sure.
So while disbanding is massive, people are bound to wonder, is this real? Is it lasting? Will all the factions go along? What does it mean for the Kurds, for Turkey?
Lots of questions remain.
But there's hope, too, of course. Hope that this might finally actually be a path towards peace.
Let's hope so. Now, this next one. Poland accusing Russia of recruiting arsonists for the Warsaw Fire on social media.
I know, it sounds wild, doesn't it? Almost like a spy thriller plot.
Seriously. The Polish minister says they have proof. Kremlin denies it, naturally.
Well, it might sound extraordinary, but it taps into this whole area of hybrid warfare, using digital means for real-world disruption.
So state-sponsored arson via Facebook recruitment.
If it's true, yeah. That would be a really concerning escalation. Blurs the lines, and proving it, that's incredibly difficult. Damages trust even further.
Yeah, I can imagine. And sticking with Russia, sort of, the U.S. role in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Seems like there's uncertainty about Trump's next moves.
There is. And interestingly, the reports suggest both Putin and Zelensky are trying hard
like
not
you're
to look like the
just,
ones blocking peace.
Some in
positioning.
All the
Neither
time.
wants to be seen as the obstacle.
Exactly. They're probably very aware of potential U.S. influence,
right?
whatever it might be. So it's this
overload is
delicate dance,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Keep your options
And
open.
that's why
Don't be
we're
the
here.
bad guy internationally
Welcome to the
or
deep
to your
dive.
own people.
We try to cut through that
Makes
noise.
Okay, let's shift
pull out the
focus.
really important
The
stories.
Middle East.
And
Always complex.
dig a bit
Always.
deeper.
Some positive
Look
news
beneath
first.
the surface.
Hamas
Think of
released
us
a U.S.
as your
Israeli
shortcut to
hostage,
getting the
Eden
context.
Alexander.
Maybe with a
The
few,
first since that March ceasefire
surprising
broke down.
connections along
Yes,
the way.
that's undoubtedly huge news for his family and
we've got
friends. A
quite a
moment
mix.
of,
Some really
profound relief
fascinating
after
stuff.
so
Oh,
long.
yeah.
We're looking at how countries are dealing with each other, some shifts there, ongoing conflicts, sadly, big social issues too, plus crime, business, tech, even some history popping up.
So quite the range.
Definitely.
The legal wheels grind on.
Exactly. Her testimony will likely be pretty central as the case moves forward.
And another crime story involving a celebrity rapper, Tory Lanez, is reportedly stabbed in prison.
Yes, in California. He's serving time for the Megan Thee Stallion shooting.
It's a stark reminder about the dangers inside prisons.
It is. Highlights the often violent reality of correctional facilities. It'll probably raise more questions about inmate safety, regardless of who they are.
Yeah. And finally, in this section, the White House, reportedly actively looking at suspending habeas corpus for immigration enforcement.